Hello everybody, it's Mirialda here once again, and welcome back to a figure unboxing. Woohoo! Yay! So this figure, I did go out and I bought a B-Full/FOTS figure. So I do need to do some ranting and explaining before I actually open this box. If you don't want to listen to that, and you just want to go straight to the comments and bitch about B-Full and FOTS, don't do that. But I will try to put a timestamp on where I actually start opening the figure. But I need to talk about it first. I was going to had all these grand plans of, doing either a separate video or recording a separate video for intro and blah, blah, blah. But I'm lazy. So, the figure that I bought is Shalit. Fennec Shalit. She is part of the Kemomimi Gakuen line by B-Full and FOTS. So their prototype pictures, they are CG renders. They are not actual pictures of the figure. This is the original artwork that she is based off of. But I went back and forth on this figure quite a bit. Anyone that you ask if they should buy a B-Full or a FOTS figure, rightfully so, will tell you to run as far away as you can. They have a very long history of broken figures, figures that are not good if they are even in one piece. They are 3D printed figures. So they're going to be very light. There's pictures of figures just being shattered. There's pictures of figures that after a few months are like limboing on their ankles and completely leaning over. So they do not have a good reputation, and it is for good reason. Most Japanese stores won't even put them on their international sites. You can only buy them if you're in Japan. I got them through Solaris Japan, who is willing to risk shipping them, but they have a big warning on every FOTS figure page that says 70% of these figures arrive broken. You buy at your own risk. There will be no refunds or exchanges. So do not just go willy-nilly buying a FOTS figure or a B-Full figure. Only do it if you really, really love the figure, the way it looks, and only do it if you know what you're getting into. This figure will probably not look as good as these CG prototypes. I'm hoping she's in one piece. I'm hoping she at least resembles it. And I'm hoping that the 3D print lines aren't going to be very noticeable. But it is something that I willingly am doing. And I figure, hey, I could make a good video on it. I could talk about this topic. We'll see what happens. But she did just strike all my moe points. So I decided after a long debate that I wanted to risk it and see for myself what their quality is like. I've said in the past, stay away, don't buy them. But I'm going to do it, take the hit for you, and maybe it'll be good, maybe it won't be. We'll see. So whatever is in this box, don't take it as law. Think for yourself. If it's perfect, still don't trust them. Just be aware of what you're getting into. So this is the jacket off version. They also have, I didn't want to go through all the hassle of, this one was a B-Full store exclusive and more expensive, but they have a jacket on version, which I do actually like more. I think she looks better with the jacket on, but like I said, she's more expensive. She's a B-Full store exclusive, and you'd have to deal with proxies and all that crap. So I did not get this, and after seeing a couple user pictures, I expect her jacket probably won't look very good in the final product. But enough rambling about that. It's been about 4 minutes and 30 seconds, so I will leave this up on my phone so we can compare later. Let's get to the actual unboxing. So we have a figure in a box. Hopefully it is a figure in one piece. Well, 3 pieces, I'm going to say. The base, the figure, and a tail. So let's get this open. I haven't bought much from Solaris, but when I have, they do tend to have good packaging. So they have packaged this very well. There's lots of air bubble wrap and then bubble wrap around the actual box. So she at least is well protected. I will give this to Solaris. If she is broken, it's not their fault. Let's go ahead and get the bubble wrap off now. And so far, at least, I don't see any dents. There were some dents on the outer shipping box, which is to be expected with international shipping. But so far, the actual figure box through the bubble wrap looks okay. So this is the typical Be Full Fots Japan packaging, figure box. It says Kemomimi Gakuen. It's got her name, I'm guessing, jacket off version, 1/7 scale. There are no pictures of the figure on the box, which kind of sucks. It is at least a cardboard box, not paperboard. It's got their, precautions and everything. Nothing on the top or the bottom. So there's that. So we will cut the seals. We'll lay the box down. We'll cross our fingers. And let's get this box open. So this whole piece comes off. We'll put that off to the side. We have some instructions in Japanese. They look like they're printed on an inkjet printer or maybe a laser printer. That off to the side. So there is how she is packaged. So the base is just sitting on top. The metal pegs are sticking down into the box. There's pretty nice foam on the sides. So this is another thing, since they use foam to pack this figure, do not leave it in the box. I've had experience where foam just starts degrading and melts and gets everything sticky and falls apart. So don't leave a figure in the box if you get one of these. So let's see. We've got her tail. We've got an extra piece of bubble wrap. And then we've got the Shalit. And I'm going to be very careful because since they are 3D printed, they're basically going to be hollow. So we're going to be careful. So let's go ahead. We'll start with the base. This does seem to be the pretty standard Kemomimi Gakuen base. So it is a piece of blue acrylic, very light blue, faint. You can barely see it unless you look at it from the side. She does have 2 metal pegs, so she's got that going for her at least. And it's just in the shape of a, animal head with cat ears and a tail. Let's get her tail. I'm actually going to even go as far as to cut the tape to try to keep it safe. So yeah, it is pretty light. It does have that like hollow feel to it. So I'm just looking. I'm actually going to take my glasses off and look. So it does look like it's like textured. I don't see like seam lines, and I don't see on the tail at least 3D print lines. If we start looking at the bow, then yes, I do see some of them. Feels fairly rigid, but I'm not going to apply much force because 3D printed plastic is breakable. And so if you hold it up to the light, it is definitely hollow, and you can see like the light shines through it and makes it glow. So that is another thing to keep keep in your mind if you do want to get one of these figures. Paint looks decent enough. There's some shading and gradients and stuff. So that is the tail. Let's set that down. Put that plastic off to the side. And let's get Shalit open. So again, bubble wrap and tape. They do not use blister packaging for their 3D printed stuff. So just be aware of that. Okay, so she at least has some weight to her. And so far, she's got all 5 fingers on each hand. She's got toes. The shoes look like garbage. She looks okay. It looks like there might be a little scratch on her belly. But so far, honestly, she looks a lot better than I was expecting. Obviously not perfect, but looks pretty good in my opinion for what she is. She does have a hole for her tail. Okay, if I lean her down like this and look at her panties and her crotch, then yes, I can definitely see like 3D print lines there. Maybe a little scratch on her booty. There is little seam lines like where her swimsuit attaches to her breasts, but it's not that bad. And from normal viewing distance, won't really see it. So her whatever it is, garter belt or strap or whatever that's on her leg, they are all supposed to be individual bows with a little ribbon running between them. You can tell they're bows, but they are a blob of plastic. Same for in front on her crotch, on the front of her swimsuit. On her finger, they are at least all individual, all 3 bows there. And on her ear, they at least got the gaps in the center. So all in all, decent enough. Around her neck, she's got, again, the bows that are just a blob of plastic, but you can tell they're bows. The stripes are kind of like there's overspray of the red paint, so they didn't mask very well. But the line is fairly straight, except for where like the overspray was. I'm already noticing, looking at the camera, like under her boobs, she's got that same glow. So yeah, holding her up to the light, you can see again, she just glows. The flesh feels, a little bit on the rough side. It's obviously not the Alter smooth skin feel, but the details in her knees are good. Details in her belly are good. She's got the big boobs welded together. Well, printed together, I should say. She's got collarbone. Good back spine line details, shoulder blades. Again, you can tell the pieces are joined together where her swimsuit meets. Not a fan of the spike on the back of her head, but that is based on the original artwork, so it's not their design decision. It's what I wrote down the name. It's Mapa Ninata's artwork. So I don't know if I even actually said all the information about her. This is Fennec Shalit, the jacket off version. She is from the Kemomimi Gakuen line. She's a 1/7 scale figure manufactured by Beeful, which is the parent company of FOTS, Pulcra, Insight, and a bunch of different companies that all typically have bad reputations. She was released in December of 2021, sometime end of the month. I ordered her on September 10th of 2021 at Solaris Japan, paid up front. She shipped out on the 4th of January and got delivered today on the 12th. So Another thing about B-Full is for being a 3D printed figure, they are expensive. So I paid 15,570 yen for her, or $147.95, and 4,900 yen for EMS shipping. So you can get figures from better companies for that price. So overall, I do think she is better than I was expecting, as I said before. So I wrote down, I wanted to say, hopefully she's not broke, which she is not broke. I wanted to warn about FOTS, which I did. And I wanted to show you the pictures on the phone. So now that we've done all that, let's try to get her assembled. Before we do, we'll talk about her shoes again. So you can tell they're 3D printed, and it's a neat design, and I like how her toes are showing. But like, it would have been better if they were all like one color, because like the green just seems like faded, and kind of like they mixed too much white in there, like they didn't clean the nozzles. But I mean, the pieces are done okay. Paint's maybe a little bit messy, like the black lines and stuff, but I mean, it's okay. Looking at the bottom, we do see tread, and you can definitely tell they're 3D printed when you're looking at the bottom. We've got the 2 peg holes. So right now, in my hand, she feels okay, but the real test of time will be if she is still standing straight up after a month or 2 on my shelf, because FOTS figures tend to like lean at the ankles. So I am going to put her tail on. Okay, that slid in very easy. Didn't have to apply much force. It is a very, very small peg, so hopefully that stands the test of time as well. And then we'll put her on the base. Okay, she slid on to the base pretty well, pretty easily. So there is Shalit, all assembled. So, like I said, better than I was expecting. I hope she stays this good. Paint looks good. From a distance, I can't tell that she's 3D printed. If I zoom in on pictures and everything, or put my eye right up against her, yes, you can tell. In certain areas, like the flesh actually is pretty decent looking. And it's kind of got a texture to it, kind of like an orange peel, if you know what I'm talking about. And I think her face is done pretty well. Let's bring her closer. Yeah, she's got nice green eyes. She's got a couple blush lines. She does have teeth. She's got eyebrows. The fingers are all individual, and they are all have painted fingernails. And you can see the knuckles and everything. Toes are one piece again, but all the toenails are painted, and paint is done pretty well on the toenails. So, yeah. Her little banker's cap or bonnet, or, brim cap or whatever, looks pretty good. The green design on them, I'm guessing is supposed to say something, but that is painted a little bit messy. On the top of the head, you do see the seam line where the front and the back of the hair join. There is some gradients in her hair. And if we look down from the bottom, yeah, really the center seam line is the only seam line in the hair. They did say that's one of the advantages of 3D printing. Oh yeah, that is a part of the center seam line. If we look at the ears, Her right ear has a little metal accessory on it, which is black plastic, of course, and it's got the bows. The insides of the ear are pink. They kind of look like, I hate to say it, but kind of look like guts. Just, very fleshy looking. They got the striations in there, the lines and everything. I think it's supposed to make it look like fluff, but it does look, to me, kind of like guts. But not bad, really. The little green creeper face design on her chest is clean. The green ring holding her swimsuit together is pretty clean. On the side, the green ring, again, it's pretty clean. You can tell where pieces are put together. On this side, again, same thing, looks clean enough, but you can tell where the pieces are put together. So yeah, overall, aside from a couple scratches, which once I turn off the bright lights will probably not be noticeable, and overspray airbrush paint, and pretty crappy shoes. I mean, they're not crappy, but they look bad. Don't know really how to it's kind of like they look like marshmallows with paint on them, if you can know what I'm saying. But I like the flat base, and I like how it's like in the shape of the Kemomimi with the tail. I like that she has metal pegs, and they are pretty long. Again, don't know what her longevity is going to be, and have to be quite careful with her, because as we've demonstrated by holding her up to the light, she is hollow and pretty thin plastic. But yeah, I am pleasantly surprised. I may consider getting another one of these Kemomimi Gakuen figures in the future. I don't know yet, because like I said, for what they are more on the expensive side. Let me turn down the brightness on a couple of these lights. And she still wants to be washed out. But the body design, the shape is good. Her design is good. I credit Mappa Ninata with that. And, I mean, you look at her, and she is quite the sexy Fennec. And from certain angles, like here, you would think she's wearing only a bow. As I said, I prefer the look of the jacket-on version more. But I think the jacket would be very akin to her shoes. So I think in the long run, the jacket off is probably better. Plus, it adds less weight to her, not having that. The tail, like I said, feels a little bit weighty in the hand, and the connection is pretty thin and small. So hopefully that stands the test of time. It is pretty loose in her butt. See, it came right out. But on the upside, you don't have to apply a lot of force to get it in there. And she's got a glorious underboob strap gap. So I think I've talked long enough about this. So let's go ahead and close this off. So this is Fennec Shalit, the jacket off version of her. She is from the Kemomimi Gakuen line, figures manufactured by B-Full, part of their FOTS line, FOTS. She is a 1/7 scale figure. 3D printed out of PMMA plastic, which is, I don't even know what it's called, but it's not very durable or strong, I guess. I honestly don't know, because this is my first figure by them, and I've never had one of those. She was released at the end of December of 2021, and brand new at Solaris. I looked this morning, and she's not available on there right now, but she probably will be in the near future again. I paid 15,570 yen, or $147.95. So I'm hoping in the long run it's not going to be money down the drain. I'm hoping it's going to be money decently spent. We shall see. So yeah, again, even though my copy turned out good and in one piece, do not just rush out and buy it because you think she looks cute. Read some threads on what Fotz's quality is. A lot of the complaints come from years ago, which is why I kind of wanted to try this, because I have tried to give them the benefit of the doubt and look up. Maybe they've gotten better in the recent times, but since they have such a bad reputation, very few people buy their figures, and they will religiously beat their drums and raise their pitchforks and say they need to go out of business, they're a horrible company, stay away from them, don't waste your money, because of all those past incidents with shattered figures, with foot goo, and stuff leaking out of them, and just, her basically the base being like this and her ankles doing a limbo when she's laying flat. So just, if you want to get her or any of their other Kemomimi figures or any of their figures, just do your research, decide if you really want it or if you're just getting it because you think it looks good, and buy it knowing that you may get a broken figure, or you may get a figure that's got lines on it or that leans or whatever, and know that you probably won't be able to get a refund. So mine turned out good. That's one data point for you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I didn't bore you too much with my rambling and explanations. Please do not flood the comments with, my friend said this, or my cousin's sister, second aunt said this. They're not the greatest company, but my figure turned out okay. So I might be willing to give them a chance in the future, but again, I have to think about it. I hope you enjoyed. I'm out. See you soon. There's lots of figures on the way. Bye-bye.